When you hear the words artificial intelligence, what pops into your head? You probably picture a talking robot from some sci-fi movie, right? Well, the truth is, AI isn't some far-off fantasy. It's already here, it's all around us, and yeah, it's definitely in your pocket. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the kind of specialist AI that's quietly running our modern world. Okay, so first things first, AI has already woven itself into our daily lives. This isn't about conscious machines taking over the world. Nope, it's about highly specialized tools doing very specific jobs. And honestly, they do them so well we barely even notice. Let's look at a few you've probably already used today.
Just think about the last time you asked your phone for the weather. Or maybe you told your smart speaker to play your favorite song. That voice that talks back to you? Yep, that's a type of AI. And its one and only job is to understand what you're saying and go get the right information. It's basically a conversation specialist.
Or how about that awesome feeling when your streaming service suggests a new show and it is exactly what you were looking for? That isn't just a lucky guess. That's a powerful AI whose entire existence is dedicated to one thing: analyzing what you like, comparing it to millions of other people, and making a really good prediction about what you'll want to see next. It's like having your own personal curator. And here's one we should all be grateful for: the silent protector of our inboxes. Every single day, an AI is sifting through a massive flood of emails, instantly spotting and getting rid of junk. Its only job, its single purpose in life, is to know the difference between an important message from your boss and, some random ad.
And then, of course, you've got the really cutting-edge stuff, like self-driving cars. Now, these things are packed with a whole suite of different AI systems. It's like a team of specialists all working together. You've got one AI just for recognizing pedestrians, another one whose only job is to read road signs, and a third that's laser-focused on keeping the car in its lane.
Okay, so we've got virtual assistants, recommendation engines, spam filters, even cars. They all seem completely different, right? But believe it or not, they're all powered by the exact same type of AI. So it's about time we put a name to this technology.
So what's the common thread here? I mean, a voice assistant that tells you jokes feels nothing like a filter that catches spam, doesn't it? Well, actually, they share the exact same core philosophy. Think of them as masters of one single trade, but completely clueless about everything else. And that right there brings us to the most important point. Every single piece of AI that exists in the real world today is what we call narrow AI. Some people call it weak AI. It's an intelligence that is purpose-built from the ground up to do one thing and one thing only. It's not thinking like a person. It's just executing one highly specialized task incredibly well.
Now, you really got to pay attention to this slide, because this is where we separate fact from science fiction. So over on the left, you've got narrow AI. It does one task, it follows a set of rules, and it's here right now. But on the right, you've got artificial general intelligence, AGI. That is the AI you see in the movies, the one that can reason, learn, and think just like a human. And what's the most important thing to see here? AGI is still completely theoretical. It does not exist.
So, if all the AI we have today is basically a super specialist, what are its rules of engagement? How does it actually work? Understanding this rulebook is the key to seeing both its incredible power and its major limitations. So let's break it down. Okay, it really comes down to four main things. First, specialization. It's built for one job, period. Second, limited scope. It literally only knows what it was trained on and nothing else. Third, it's reactive. It doesn't have thoughts, feelings, or awareness. It just responds to whatever data you give it. And finally, and this is a big one, data dependency. Its skill is completely tied to the data it learned from. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out.
And this quote just perfectly captures that idea of a limited scope. An AI that is the world's best expert at grabbing boxes in a warehouse has absolutely, positively zero idea how to flip a burger. The skills just don't transfer. It can't generalize its knowledge. And honestly, that one fact is probably one of the most important things to get about where AI is today.
But this intense focus, this specialization, it's really a double-edged sword. It's what makes narrow AI so incredibly powerful at its one job, but it also creates some pretty serious weak spots. So what happens when this specialist runs into something that's not in its rulebook?
Well, you get three major consequences. We've already talked about the lack of generalization. The warehouse robot can't be a line cook. But that also makes it vulnerable to errors. If a self-driving car sees some totally bizarre weather pattern it was never trained on, it can mess up. And maybe the most critical issue is biased data.
If an AI learns from historical data that's full of human biases, well, the AI has no way of knowing that. It just learns those flawed patterns, and the consequence is that it can produce really unfair or skewed results.
And that, of course, leads us straight into a huge ethical minefield. The more we use this narrow AI for things like facial recognition or analyzing our personal information, the more we have to ask some really tough questions. Questions about our privacy, about the potential for surveillance, and how this incredibly powerful tool could be misused, whether on purpose or by accident.
So, let's pull all of this together. We live in a world that is being shaped more and more by these powerful but fundamentally limited AIs. They are absolutely incredible tools, but it is so important that we remember what they are and, just as importantly, what they aren't. So here's the bottom line. The AI we have today is an army of incredible specialists, not a single general-purpose thinker. It can be the best chess player in the world or spot tumors on a medical scan better than a human can, but it cannot reason, it can't dream, and it can't understand the world in that broad, flexible way that we do.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. We're building these amazing hyper-specialized tools, but we're deploying them into a world that is messy, unpredictable, and anything but specialized. So the biggest challenge for all of us is this: how do we safely and effectively bridge that gap?